My friend and I hit the jackpot in Vegas. Unfortunately, it was the jackpot of social anxiety and stress.
Necesitas reír.
Viva Las Vegas!
The 13-hour car ride to Vegas from Colorado was beautiful in terms of scenery and stuff, but when it came down to it, 13 hours in the car sucks no matter who you are, where you're going, or what you're doing. It sucks, so it's super stressful. And as soon as we got into Las Vegas on the interstate, my anxiety started kicking in because of the traffic. And I have incredibly bad social anxiety as it is, and I have incredibly bad anxiety regarding traffic itself, because I've been in 15 different car accidents, 2 of which were my fault. The rest I was riding passenger, so my anxiety comes from riding passenger in heavy traffic. But we tried to get to the hotel without dying. We succeeded. As we were pulling into the hotel, my anxiety kicked up again because there were these 2 taxi cabs at the light, and they were right next to each other, and they started going around the corner, and there was people in the intersection. And I started freaking out, and I'm like, holy shit, they're going to hit those people, and they're laying on their horns and stuff, and like, they just plow through the crowd. They don't hit anybody, but it was like, holy crap, like, honking as they drove through the intersection. The 2 brave taxicabs made a way for the rest of traffic, and I nearly had a heart attack. But my initial reaction to Vegas was excitement and, wonder. Like, I saw the lights and I saw the casinos, and it was cool. And I was excited. Shiny object syndrome kicked in really hardcore. And I was just like, ooh, this is really cool. And I had the same reaction when I got into the hotel, where everything looked really cool. And I was like, oh, look at those cool crystal chandeliers and the overall setup, like a French street inside the Paris. It seemed really cool at first. So we get all checked in. We got there the night before the meetup on the 11th. And, we should have just gone to the hotel room and relaxed that first night and stuff. But me being a dumbass and wanting to see Vegas, I was like, let's get our shit in there and let's go explore. And that was a mistake. Let's be real. That was a mistake. That's when you pile stress on top of stress, and then you go out and you decide you want to be around large groups of people to see an aggressive city, especially when you have social anxiety like my friend and I do. It's pretty much the equivalent of hell on earth. So that stresses you out really bad. I mean, I had a good time seeing all the sights, being able to go out and look at the Flamingo and the Mirage, the Bellagio. We went to Caesar's Palace, of course, Paris, Planet Hollywood. All those awesome places. And we got to see a lot of cool stuff, and at the end of the day, we were just wiped out, so we went to bed. We only slept about an hour and a half that night, maybe. I did anyway, and then I got up in the morning to decide, 5 in the morning. It's like, hell yeah, let's go see this place in the morning. Viva Las Vegas, baby. And I didn't want to wake my friend up, so I carefully closed the door, and I made my way out, and I went to the Flamingo, where I got my wife a souvenir. And while this may seem like a cheap souvenir, if you knew my wife, you'd know that it was perfect. She has this thing for flamingos, and it's perfect for her to get something with flamingos on it, especially when it has a pun like that. I don't give a flock. It's great. So I'm walking back, and on my way back to the Paris from the Flamingo, and I get propositioned by this lady. She's 5'2", 350 pounds. I'll call her Betty Bambalam. And she's like, hey, honey, if you buy me a drink, I'll show you a good time. To which I promptly replied, no, thank you. And she says, oh, you don't want to spend time with me? And I was like, no, I'm good. Have a great day. And I just left. I was like, peace. I don't know if she said anything else, because my brain was just kind of like switched off at that point, where I was like, single focus mission, get back to the hotel room without getting hit on by any more fat hookers, or alcoholics, or getting mugged by the crackheads in the street, and then getting hit by a car, and... You know, the social anxiety's real, by the way. That wasn't a joke before I went on this trip. But while I was out, it turns out someone burglarized our room. And we didn't realize that until after my buddy got up, because the only thing that was taken was his wallet, which had, his credit cards, concealed carry permit. It had his gambling money in it, all kinds of stuff in there, a couple credit cards, this, that, and the other thing. And so we spent the day of the meetup, leading up to the meetup, we spent most of it dealing with the police and trying to figure out who did it, what times, where they went with his credit cards and stuff like that. And that, of course, on top of the very little sleep we got the night before, because those beds are uncomfortable as all get out. Like, worst beds ever. Would have been better to sleep on the floor. They're way too soft. But we were super stressed, so I met up with Comix Division and Nickweiser in the lobby of the Paris, which was fantastic. Those guys are great. They said that I was going to be disappointed when I met them because of their size and stuff like that, but I knew that I would never be disappointed in these guys, because they are already giants in my mind. Physical size means nothing to me in terms of that, because they are amazing people, and getting to meet them in person was an exhilaration. It actually helped me cut back on some of that anxiety, and it helped me feel a little better. But those guys needed to get settled in, so we met them in the lobby. They went and did their thing, and we decided we were going to head over to Kappa Toys in the fashion show mall. And so we walked over there. It took about 30 minutes to get there. 105-degree heat. It was it was about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, because we had to leave in an hour to go to the meetup. But we walked out there, 105 degrees. We're walking around, and we get to the mall. The mall is really cool. I mean, it's a pretty typical mall, especially I'm from Colorado, so it had like all of the stores that we normally have in Colorado, with a couple exceptions. So we went and we got my son a couple really cool toys, and like, I can't show you because one of them's being saved. I shouldn't have even said that but anyway. So, we get the toys, we call an Uber to pick us up from the mall to take us to the meetup. And so I've got this bag of toys swinging from my hip the entire time, because I just strapped it to my belt, and I was like, all right, let's go to the meetup. I wish I would have put it back in the room, but we didn't really have time. I was bumping into people, and I apologize for anyone that I hit with my bag of Mario toys and stuff. My bad. Those Mario toys, I know they're killer and they can hurt you. Anyway, we get to the meetup actually a little early, and so my initial reaction when I walk in there, I'm like, we walk directly into the bar, and we go there, and I'm like, hi, I'm here for the meetup for Nerdrotic, Gary, Geeks and Gamers and stuff, and the lady's all like, okay, it hasn't started yet, so I think this is Nerdrotic over here. And I look, and there's a guy who has like a Nerdrotic beard, but he's definitely not Nerdrotic. And they're all like, yeah, Gary's not here yet. And I'm chilling. And the next thing I know, one of the guys that I hang out with come in, and they're like, oh, it's in this side room over here. It was one of the other meetup members that I can't remember the name of. I'm terrible with names. And I apologize if I can't remember everybody's name while I'm doing this stream, or while I'm recording this video. But I walk in there, and there's Ryan Kinel helping set up the Geeks and Gamers merch table. Jeremy was there, but he was super busy, and none of the other guys were there yet. Ryan was really cool. I got to introduce myself to him before the meetup and all that stuff. He was very polite. He's very engaging. We didn't talk a lot while I was there. We'll get to all that in a sec. But we were just hanging out and, checking out the sites, looking at stuff, and then everybody started showing up. It was fantastic. Okay, so the meetup was great. The energy in it was amazing. There were so many cool people there. I'll just go over who I got to meet. No order of importance or anything. Except for the last one. I'm saving a special one for last. But I got to meet Jeremy from, D-Day Cobra, Geeks and Gamers, big shot. He was a fantastic guy. I was honestly surprised that he remembered who I was. Because that again comes to the social anxiety of like, I'm a nobody walking into a room of people who have known each other for years. And it turns out a lot of them have never actually met each other in person. Which helped a little bit. But, I got to meet Jeremy and he was really cool. And I got to meet Drunk 3PO and Jay almost actually picked me up off the ground, giving me a hug, which isn't hard to do considering I'm like the equivalent of an anorexic patio umbrella. But anyway, seeing Comix Division and Nickweiser and Culture Casino there was a surreal trip for me because, of course, I know these guys on Yelling at Parked Cars and stuff, and I know that they're amazing people from their personalities online and from interacting with them over this last year, but like getting to meet them in person was amazing. And yes, Culture Casino and Comix Division are very short, but they are giants in my mind. They're huge in my mind, and I can't wait for next year because next year I'm going to do it right, but we'll get to that. Nickweiser is a trip. He is full of energy. He's excitement. He can bring life to anything. He just, and he made me feel very welcome. Like it was like seeing a friend that I hadn't seen in years showing up and being, like friends again. And those are the kinds of people that I absolutely love in my life, is the people that I know I can connect with, and they're just really cool people all around. So after a little bit, Gary showed up. He was live streaming when he walked in and stuff, and my anxiety kicked in again because Gary is a huge deal within the community, and he talked about how it was overwhelming. And I can only imagine what it was like for him, but overwhelming was an understatement. Anyway, I'll get to all that in a sec. Quarter Black Garrett was sick. I mean, he gave me this really cool sticker. Like, this is my favorite sticker, that's why it's on my phone. It's so cool. I got to introduce these guys to my friend, Matt, who referred to himself as just Matt during the meetup because he doesn't have a YouTube channel and stuff like that. He's a really cool guy. But we were, meeting Garrett was amazing. He's a really cool guy. He has a lot of good energy. The two people I want to talk about now, probably don't realize the impact that they had on me. So first I'm going to start talking about Brightest Day. That outfit was so amazing. I loved the Green Lantern ring, and like, I wish I would have been able to talk to him, but at the time I was in the throes of basically a panic attack. It seemed like there were several hundred people inside this building, and the room that we were in was like 12 feet by 36 with a bunch of stuff in it. And, everybody was talking and it was loud, and like there's proximity issues that I had, and like people, it was a big crowd. It was very loud. I started feeling claustrophobic, and I don't know if you can have a cross between agoraphobia and claustrophobia, because I don't do well in crowds over like 30 people. And then, like when I had the opportunity to talk to the Brightest Day, I was in the middle of such a bad anxiety attack that it didn't even click in my mind of who he was, and like, cause he's a huge supporter, and his comments and his videos and stuff like that actually do inspire me to keep doing what I'm doing. As much as, Gary, as much as Jeremy, as much as anybody else that's on here. Brightest Day is an amazing person, and if you're watching this, Brightest Day, I apologize for not taking the time to talk to you. I hope that you can understand that my anxiety gets the best of me sometimes, and that's pretty much how the whole trip went for me was it was a big old ball of anxiety slapped with a giant helping of sleep deprivation, and it's anyway. I apologize, Brightest Day, for not coming and talking to you more. I hope maybe next year or something we can hook up and I'll actually get to know these people better. But the one person that I actually did take the time to talk with in length was the Ginger Ninja. And I want to take a minute to talk about this guy because he's an incredible person. He said things to me that I never thought I'd hear in my life, that, what we do is inspiring, and that all the things that we say need to be said because a lot of people in the world are just afraid to speak up and say the things on their mind, and we are the ones that are actually going out and saying it. And the Ginger Ninja put things into a perspective for me that allowed me to actually appreciate the work that I've put in, the work that everybody else is putting in, and the work that we will ultimately do to achieve a better entertainment industry in the future. And, I know most of us are social commentators, entertainment commentators, stuff like that, but we do make a difference. And that's an important message to get out there, is that we make a huge difference in a lot of people's lives, even if we don't realize it. So Ginger Ninja, I would like to thank you for the time that you took to talk to me, and I once again want to apologize for not being as open and communicative as I could have been, because I was surrounded by this cloud of anxiety. Like, I legit felt like my chest was going to collapse at one point. And I went through and I got autographs. Jeremy and Ryan signed my hat. There's Jeremy here, Ryan here. Amazing. I got this Nerdrotic Squatch pin, which is great. My Vegas shirt, the wristbands from the meetup. Of course, Quarter Black Garrett's kick-ass sticker, which is the coolest sticker, honestly. Like, I love my Nerdrotic sticker. But yeah. I got the autographs from the guys. Gary did a personalized autograph that I hope will spur my brother into continuing his streaming efforts, because he's got what it takes. He just, like me and my friend Matt, suffers from extreme social anxiety and stuff like that, and it's very hard for us to get out of our bubbles. And as much as I wish that I could say I stayed the whole time, I did leave early because of that anxiety, and I feel like it cost me quite a bit. And I don't know if it cost me respect in the eyes of my co-creators because I left early or anything, but I hope that people don't hold that against me, because I've been trying to work on this anxiety for a very long time, and it was so overwhelming that I'm still recovering from all of the anxiety from the trip. But so we left the next morning at about 5 a.m. and that resulted in a 20-hour car ride that was supposed to take 14 hours to get back to Colorado, because we were stuck in heavy traffic. The interstates were completely stopped. It was down to one lane in a lot of places. We almost got hit by 5 different semi-trucks. Yeah, it was insane. And we felt like we got stuck in a time loop at one point while we were driving back to Colorado through New Mexico, because we decided, you know what? We're going to see the alternate route back. That's why it was supposed to take an extra hour to get home versus the 13 hours it took to get out there. But as we were getting out of New Mexico, my buddy Matt made this joke like, oh man, we're stuck in a time loop. Next thing you know, we're going to wind up back in Las Vegas. So we're driving down the street and we see this Las Vegas 90 miles, and we both basically have heart attacks. And we are hysterically laughing while I'm Googling if there's a Las Vegas, New Mexico, thinking that, somehow we got quantumly entangled into going back to Nevada, and I was like, but, of course we were wrong. And after we got home at 1:30 in the morning, and then I slept for another hour, and etc., etc. But to recap, this entire trip was stressful as hell for me, but it was a good experience. It helped me to realize that I need to work on my social anxiety a lot. It helped me realize that I need to get out there and create with these people on a regular basis, because this community is amazing and these people are amazing. And next year they announced that there's going to be Orlando and Texas meetups and stuff, and I will absolutely try to get to one of those. That being said, I don't think I'll ever go back to Vegas. Vegas is not my kind of place. Vegas is not my kind of town. It's very stressful. I loved the guys, and if we do a meetup next year where it's all of us, I hope that it's in Texas or Florida so that I don't subject myself to that kind of thing again. And once again, I hope people don't think less of me because I didn't stay the whole time. It was social anxiety. It was just a bad experience in a lot of ways that I couldn't handle it. But the experience of the meetup was the whole reason that I went there, and that was fantastic, and I loved it. I loved meeting those people, despite the fact that I'm an anxious ball of crazy sometimes. But anyway, I'm going to stop rambling now. Thank you guys for watching this ridiculous video, and I hope to see you next time, and as always, I hope you have a wonderful time.
Viva